Okay, whenever you're ready.
Good morning. Let's close our eyes. Let's close our eyes and breathe into our heart. Feel free to exhale loudly to drop any tensions. And really taking conscious deep breaths into the heart space. To expand our vessel. Now taking it a step deeper by breathing into our feet. And with the next breath into our feet, we see the roots of our feet grow into the core of the earth. Wrapping around the golden crystalline core of the earth. Grounding us in the new earth timeline. And thanking Mother Gaia for charging us with her blessings, stabilizing us, grounding us in our coherence, in our highest timeline for the new earth, in our highest purpose fulfilled in the new earth. Giving us the clarity and the support in every way, knowing and unknowing, that we can use at this time today and always and in all ways. And we just see that golden light of the core of the earth travel through our roots into our physical body and receiving all the blessing. And by doing that, we are co-creating with the consciousness of the new earth and Mother Earth. Supporting one another. Just consciously breathing that life force energy of the earth through our feet into our entire body, especially in the heart, and letting it charge us and fuel us. and expand our vessel and our nervous system. We continue on by putting our focus to our crown, the top of our head, and seeing a golden root or a golden laser beam shoot from our crown up into the cosmos to the great central sun, connecting us from above as well. And once you have reached the central sun with your awareness, with your consciousness, we plug into the great central sun, the divine intelligence, God, Goddess, Source, and giving praise and thanks to receive the life force energy of the highest divine source into our field, into our body, into our consciousness, and grounding us in our highest consciousness in the body, embodied. Just seeing the light from the great sun come down into the crown. And from our crown all the way down into the rest of our body. We're now taking 3 conscious deep breaths, and we're going to draw the energy from the earth and from the cosmos, from the great sun, simultaneously into our heart space by inhaling. And when we exhale, we shoot it out into all directions, northeast, southwest, into our field, creating a golden, powerful, coherent sphere field around our body. Expanding our resonant, coherent field with that. Expanding our presence with that. Expanding our aura with that. Of course, also sending love to one another. And claiming our field as wholly whole and wholly healed. Clean, clear, pure, and pristine. And impenetrable to any and all energies that don't align with our highest timeline, that don't serve our greater and higher good. And impenetrable to any and all illusions. And it is so, and it is done. Taking one last deep breath, and in your own time opening your eyes again, being fully present, fully here.
So today we already talked about stuff that we needed to do from last week. I don't know if you remember, but it's
Let me know whenever you need me to look at the screen, okay?
yeah.
When it's necessary.
Yeah. Okay, so last time we came up with titles. You don't need to look at I'll let you know to look at the screen. A couple of weeks ago, actually, two live streams ago, we came up with title ideas. Okay? We came up with title ideas for shorts. And basically what we said we were going to do was that we're going to upload a long form once every 2 weeks. Maybe we can honestly even bump that up to once every month, the long forms, because long forms are they're not playing well in terms of like reach. Like if I just look at, I know I keep talking about him, but if I just look at like iShowSpeed, he is live streaming. And in terms of actual like video content, like long form content, like if you look at the screen now, if you look at the screen right now, the last long form video that he produced with FIFA, the World Cup, was 3 weeks ago, going on a month now. Okay, and that was a 1 minute video. This was a WrestleMania thing for the WWE, and then after this was a trailer for Caribbean tour, and then this is him, the highlights of him doing the Caribbean tour. This is him doing a music song for the World Cup, and that was a month ago. That was a month ago. For his shorts, once again, if you look at his shorts, his most recent short was 5 hours ago. 5 hours ago. Okay. So if his main thing is live stream, right? His main thing is live stream. So he's been live streaming daily. If we look at a Mr. Beast, okay, even Mr. Beast has a cadence where he basically posts a long form every 2 to 3 weeks, basically. From what I've seen, it's more like every 2 weeks. So he posts up videos every 2 weeks. And this is where he is, right? Before, in the beginning, yeah, he's doing lots of volume, right? He's doing lots and lots of volume, but he's faceless. You don't see his face at all. You don't know what his theme is. His theme is basically a gaming channel. There's no thumbnail. There's no nothing. And this is pretty much what he did for years. Okay? This is pretty much what he did for years. Even if we look at PewDiePie, who was at one time the guy of YouTube, he was like the number one, right? Number one most subs. Even still, him on his oldest, right? What did he do? He was a whole bunch of gaming, right? But if we look at like the cadence, 2 days ago he posted. Before that was 12 days ago. And then before that was 1 month ago. And then there was 1 month ago. And then there's 2 months ago. Okay? 2 months ago. And then after that, you can see there's 3 months ago, 4 months ago, etc. So the point of that is when it comes to this, right? When it comes to producing these long form pieces of content, great that we're producing the long form pieces of content, you know. I think this one came out pretty good, actually. And this one came out good as well. And I would just say that for us, we don't have to focus so much on the long forms, right? It's going to come down to, as we have already established, it's going to come down to the shorts. Okay. So having said that, and even if you look at like other top creators as well, you know, like even if I look at, let's say, the Jenny Hoyos, right? Her videos, this one was like 5 days ago. Before that was 2 weeks ago. Before that was 3 weeks ago. Her shorts, we already established she's doing a whole bunch of shorts every single day. If we look at this other creator right here, Yo Angelo, in terms of his videos, he posted 5 days ago, but before that was 4 weeks ago. Before that was 5 months ago. Okay. And his first video was like 3 years ago, but look at what he does with the shorts. He does tons and tons and tons of shorts, right? So that's what we're trying to do. And what we have here is we want to basically set ourselves up in such a way where for the content, we basically want to take one of the videos and we want to make as many shorts as possible. We want to make so many shorts. We want to make so many shorts that like every single short is basically supporting the long form. Okay. And what my hypothesis is, and we're going to just have to see this, right? Just applying the concepts of trading and just looking at it numerically versus non-emotionally, right? So non-attached, not saying like if I lose a trade, then something's wrong with me, I'm a loser. No. If we just look at it numerically, statistics wise, okay? For every market condition that I have a strategy for, I can take 100 trades. Out of the 100 trades, even if I take the exact same condition, even if I take the exact same setup, I'm guaranteed not going to win every single trade. It's just what it is, right?
Yeah, and it is very known that even the most successful traders, they lose way more, but the winners are exceeding it all.
Exactly. And so we need to take that same mentality and that same approach to content, okay? Just because we're posting up one piece of content doesn't mean anything. We have to think about the law of large numbers here, okay? And that's basically what this is gonna, I think, come down to. I think that for me, my hypothesis is if we have even just one long form, if we only ever made one long form piece of content, and it was basically just like a book, right? Like when I think about someone writing a book, I don't think about someone writing millions of books. I think about someone writing one book to articulate their thoughts, like to articulate their hypothesis of life, right? Like, so for us, if there was one book that we would ever produce, it would be like Your Purpose in the Future of Our Planet, which I was working on a couple years ago, but I had to stop. That would be just the one book, and that would just be the idea for the entire thing. And I would apply that same concept over to long form, especially now that I know and I see that, again, YouTube algorithm is not favoring so heavily the long form pieces of content anymore as it did a couple years ago, because there's so many people doing it, and it makes sense. It's like a lot of people are doing the podcast interview formats. Sometimes it creates a lot of fluff, and top creators, they are so in tune with what they see with the social media, because it's their livelihood. They have to study these things, that they would automatically know, okay, well, long forms aren't getting pushed. I'm not going to focus my energy on long forms. Bless you. Or long forms are getting pushed, but it's a matter of watch time, so I have to increase my video. So they'll find a way to fluff the video, and to make episodes. So I think that leaves us with saying, okay, if that's the case, if human behavior is more towards like being on the phone, swiping, whatever, and people want to be entertained, I think at this stage, there's so much information and especially now, people can just go to ChatGPT and get the consolidated information. like I said, I think the real magic is going to be, can we show people how to do and execute on their purpose? You know, can we show them how to do that? Can we build up an ecosystem? Can we build up an ecosystem for them where we take applications, you know, like a Kai Cenat with Streamer University, or and that is something I do want to show you as well, because this is an idea that I had, and we're gonna work on the shorts today. We're gonna script the shorts today, but that's gonna be so easy. That's gonna be so easy because we're just gonna do the script in bulk for 180 pieces of content for the life purpose of a shaman and the life purpose of a healer. So we're gonna do 100 for each one, and it's literally just gonna be just record it and next one, record it and next one, record it and next one. But getting back to what I was saying about like applications and like the future of what we're doing, what I would think would work, especially like if you think about, there's more AI generated content coming out. More people are creating AI generated avatars, and they're producing content with those AI generated avatars. I would imagine that for us, if like we're saying we're going to help people with their purpose, it's going to come down to having that like master accountability group where we have to be in there with them, or we have so much volume of content that we have some type of an application like a Streamer University with like how Kai Cenat has. And I would imagine that the application would be it would basically fall in line with the accountability group, where we have a team of people, like an ecosystem for people that are applicants to come into the program, and we invest in them and we help them fulfill their purpose, and we get equity in exchange for that, right? And we also do content creation for them. Now, here's something that I want to show you that I've been looking at. I've been studying younger creators. I've been studying younger creators heavily because they know something that our generation and older don't. Very, very honest. And so I have to show you this. This is very, very interesting. It's very, very interesting. So this is something that I want to do for lifepurpose.com in the future, especially when we have the financial resources. This is something I very, very, very much want to do. Okay. What I want to do is I want to create a network, like a community, where like we do have Loveland, and what we do on Loveland is we live stream and we create content together. Mm-hmm. Okay, so like a house, right? Like a community, like a content creator community for life purpose. Okay, and here's what I mean. When I saw this really blew my mind. So this kid that you see here, he is a content creator, and what he does is he goes to he live streams, right? So his thing is like doing live stream stuff, and that's how he got, to 1.5 million subscribers, right? And what he does though is he works with people that already are in communities. I don't know if he's in like an official community himself, but from what I've seen, which I'll show you right here. So what we're seeing right here is a content creator who does live stream, right? So he's a streamer, and he's going over to a organization called the Core, right? So to understand this, Core, from what I researched, is a gaming primary and / content creator organization, where it's just like a bunch of young content creators, and they're streaming and they're creating content together. They live in a massive house, which you're going to see right here. They live in a massive house, and the intention behind that is because they are creating content together. So they're cross-pollinating constantly. There's another organization too called AMP, which is I think something that Kai Cenat and another group of content creators created. But this guy, it seems like he goes into both worlds. And let me show you this. So this is the house they live in, these content creators.
You good?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Is that in Taiwan?
No. This is somewhere in the United States. Okay. So this is their house. Okay, this is one of the content creators. And you see how he has a cameraman with him? He's streaming it. So there's one cameraman for that content creator. And then there's the other content creator, cameraman for the other content creator. Okay. So this is their compound. This is basically their content creation house. And they have cameramen constantly. Okay. And basically what it is that these guys have followings of their own. Okay. Some of them have like 100K subscribers. Some of them have like over 1 million subscribers, right? But what they have done strategically is they said, okay, let's live together. They personally live under the same house, but I'm saying like, let's get a whole bunch of land, build little houses, and then we live together on that land as content creators, right? And these are the other content creators. And they always have cameramen on them, right? They're always recording. They're always creating content. So I don't know exactly who that is, but we have Ray, we have Jason the Ween. You've got Lacey and Marlon as part of this organization. Okay. So it's a group of guys. They live together in the same house. They have all the content creator. This is what they do full time. And each of them estimated, I don't know what their annual income is, but it's like estimated between $1 million to $5 million per person. So they're able to buy this place, live here, create a whole bunch of content constantly. And this is what they do every single day. And it's smart too, because from what I understand about the younger generation is incredibly like lonely, right? And so when they do live streams like IRL meetups, like in real life events. And whoever watches, maybe they feel like they're a part of that community, right? So it's like really a sense of belonging. And then they have these events where people can come out and meet those creators. And I think IRL streaming really became big around 2020 with the lockdown, where people were inside so much that they were just watching content or creating content, you know? So this is the house. Okay. And that's basically the content creators that make up that organization. But they're in the anime version, right? So it's young 20-something-year-old guys all living together, and they're doing this, right? Let me show you here. That's another content creator.
Do you know how many of them?
I have no idea. But it's massive. It's a mansion. They live in a mansion, and they have all these rooms that they live in together. That's another content creator for the organization that they're in. Okay. And this is what they do, right? And so what they do is they do these live streams and they clip these live streams. Okay. They clip these live streams. Like if you look at his thing, right? He's taking the live streams and he's clipping them, right? He's clipping the live stream. So the same video we just saw became a video. Then it became, right? So that's a short. right? So the live stream became a short, became all that stuff, right? If you look at the channel, right? So each of these guys, they have their own channel, but then they also have the groups YouTube channel, okay? Right? And these are the guys that are in this thing, okay? So these are the guys that are in this organization, and they do these like videos as part of like their entertainment stuff, right? So there's Marlon, there's Lacey, Jason, the Ween. I don't know who some of these other guys are. But this is basically it.
Oh, I totally see that from the spiritual aspect right now.
Exactly.
So you have like the monad.
Yeah.
And then you have the individual people.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's just in the physical realm now.
Exactly. And now look at this. They started their channel. They started their channel over 2 months ago.
They have a water park in their backyard.
They have a water park in their backyard, and this is the house was 20 million. So this is a video where it's the $20 million house. It's got basketball court. It's huge, right? But look, they all live together under that same house, and they chipped in together to make this happen, I'm assuming.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so it seems like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys. Okay. And so each of these guys has their own channel, but they come together and they create it as a group. Okay. And this is their house tour. And just when I saw this,
that's a fridge.
yeah, that's a fridge, right? When I saw this though, that really made me it really crystallized the idea of Loveland for me and what could be possible here, you know? But the thing is, it's a very stringent process how they got together.
What does that mean?
Like
stringent.
Stringent is like a strict. It's like it's a very dialed in process.
How do you know?
Well, because these guys, they all have their own channels, and they all had their own channels before they formed this thing.
Right. Yeah.
So they weren't just taking someone that
they were not dependent on each other.
Exactly. They already had established a little bit of a foundation.
Yes.
Right. And what they did was they said, okay, let's take all of our audiences, let's take all of our individual channels, let's come together, let's actually take what we have and let's buy this $20 million house. Or I don't know if they're renting it or buying it or whatever.
Well, that is, I totally see that. So everyone builds their own foundation first. And then when they come together, they can actually build a huge pyramid with their foundations.
Exactly. And that's what I was talking about years ago. With the life purpose, with the blog and everything like this, having a whole bunch of content creators create content and we cross-pollinate audiences. Because even here, if you look over here, this is Kai Cenat, right? And he's like one of the bigger YouTube streamers, right? It's not just iShowSpeed. It's this guy as well. This is Agent Zero. And I don't know who these other guys are, unfortunately. But they all have their own individual channels as well. Okay? And they're creating content together, right? Notice how they're creating content together as a group. But if I go to Kai Cenat, I see his own thing. Okay? He's doing his own thing privately. Okay? He's doing his own thing privately. So he's got his own channel, right? He's got Kai Cenat and he's got Kai Cenat Live. So he's got 2 channels. And one of them, I'm assuming, is for the live stuff, which then he converts into shorts, into pieces of content, okay, across both channels. Now, here's what I want to show you. This was his idea. It's called Streamer University, okay? Streamer University is basically a program that he started as how I understand it, because I've never seen it, but I started researching it more, and I can't find like where like the content is necessary. I only see the clips. But from what I understand, Streamer University, Kai Cenat started, and what he did was he basically invited or like did applications for a group of streamers that wanted to be up and coming streamers or like get known, and he put them all together into like a campus, like into an actual campus, I think, and they started creating content. And since then, he's been just doing this. I think he's done this only in the last year or two, I think. But check this out. Check out this trailer.
That's how I feel with all the ants in this house.
Look, but
And the wasps.
it's got the Hogwarts vibe to
I
it.
know. Oh, I know why the owls.
Okay. Now, when I see this, I get like these goosebumps. Cause look, check this out.
Oh, I'm having like an idea drop in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what happened here?
Like we spoke about this with people showcasing their purpose
Yeah.
and people actually applying to.
Yeah. Exactly. People applying to the thing. So now here's the other thing.
Because what are they streaming about? They're just streaming about their lifestyle, I assume. Or do they have specific niches that they are streaming on?
Well, that's the thing. So in this genre, this is more entertainment based.
Yeah.
Okay. So just take this concept of streaming and apply it to the life purpose, to the spiritual stuff and all that stuff, right? I want to show you this as well. We're not going to go the whole 28 minutes, but basically just to see this, right? So I just showed you the application, the enrollment trailer, right? Since then, he had the applications in New York, Los Angeles, and I think Atlanta. And this was the outcome for New York. Look. You see that? That's what I'm talking about. Take that in for a second. An actual campus where people are sitting down and we're doing this. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, that reminds me to the vision of the auditorium.
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly. The hall where people congregate to do workshops about purpose, whatever. The only thing that I see differently though is that we wouldn't have this. What I see though is like having like chairs where people can sit, but then you're moving the chairs around and you're cuddling up in groups, like Tony Robbins with the business mastery. You know, like how we formed like little teams, like that, right? And you're just pollinating. So these are all the people that have come into the streaming university, and he's like reviewing applications, all that stuff. And it's more entertainment based because it's to learn how to stream, right? But just look at how he's doing it. You know, look at people coming in, all this stuff. And I think he had here, okay, his friend Ray, right? Who we met in Taiwan, I think. That is Ray's cameraman, I think. So you get the idea, right? Obviously, this is entertainment.
That's how I carry Regis sometimes.
Okay, so you get it, right? That's the idea. And so basically, a whole mass of people, thousands of people lined up to do these auditions, to come in and to basically sell themselves on like why they should be in this streamer university thing.
And that is a real thing. It's not just made for on camera like a show.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know. You know, like I'm an old guy. I feel like because I'm so disconnected from what's going on. Like I have no idea what this was. You know, but basically, what I understand is that he did this for the last year or two or something like this, and basically here we go. For example, so this was an actual stream, right? So he was live streaming the Streamer University class of 2025. And this, from what I understand, was a real thing, but obviously the purpose of it was content, right? The purpose of is to create content. I would imagine that after a while, like if it's just Kai Cenat and Kai Cenat is live streaming, that's going to get boring, right? So they have to think about ways to create content. And from what I see is that this is what he was doing. He was, he started off like very young at like 14, 15 years old, or even younger, I don't know. And then he was doing like reaction videos. And then eventually he went into this. And I think the Stream University thing is a legitimate thing that he started. And basically it's a whole bunch of people that he selected, and they rented a campus or something, and then they created content. And maybe behind the scenes, he's teaching them how to do streaming stuff and like what kind of equipment you need, the backpack and all that stuff like this. It's expensive to do it to how these guys are doing it, especially when they do IRL stuff. You could be spending $30,000 on a streaming kit setup, primarily because you need the internet, you need a camera, you know what I'm saying? Like you need certain things to make that happen. But this was basically the Stream University announcement of like what he was doing and whatever. It's very, very interesting. And this is so creative. This is really, really creative. And he's putting out all the names of who got into the Streaming University. And I think out of this, he made a whole bunch of content, a whole bunch of content. So my whole point with this is when I've been studying these younger guys, right? It was never just I Show Speed, right? I'm studying Kai Cenat, I'm studying Marlon, I'm studying Ray, I'm studying Tota, Rebecca, Celine DEPT or Dept or something. I don't know where, but I've been studying these people, right? And this is a much younger generation. And this is something that Gary Vaynerchuk talked about that we got to really think about here. And what it is Gary Vaynerchuk said, what? You are a media company, right? You're a media company. When you go on social media, you are essentially a media company. Taking that mindset, applying that same thinking and the same logic, we got to think about that in that way. And so as I've been studying these guys, I've been thinking, and I got really inspired when I saw the Core House. And I thought to myself, okay, maybe we can do this. There's other groups too. There's like, there's Sidemen, right? So there's AMP, Core, Sidemen. And it's, again, the same concept. A lot of big content creators that basically were creating content on their own. They did very well, but they were creating content on their own. And then they wound up meeting other content creators that they were cool with. And because obviously they're in that same space and it's like a lonely thing, they said, hey, why don't we form a faction, a group, and then we create content together, and then we can create businesses together, and we create other things together. And that's exactly what, a Logan Paul and a KSI did. They created the Prime energy drink, which in its first year or two generated over $1 billion in sales. So I thought to myself, okay, this Loveland concept is now becoming more clear. Maybe the name isn't Loveland, because we also have to check IP stuff because, there's a Loveland in Colorado or whatever. But regardless of what the name is, I get it even clearer now, right? And I think that as synthetic media increases, there is an opposite reaction that's going to happen. And that opposite reaction that's going to happen is going to be geared around people that are doing live events, live things in public. Gary Vaynerchuk also talked about this. He says that there's going to be the unplugging of Generation Alpha. That's what he is assuming, right?
Who's Alpha?
It's not Soraya or Regis's generation. It's the generation after Gen Z, I think.
What is that?
What do you mean?
What is Gen Z?
Gen Z is like Max's generation group. Greta Thunberg, she's Gen Z. They're Gen Z, right?
Okay.
Or maybe Max is a millennial. I don't know. But it's I think every 20 years is a new generation, basically.
Okay.
So Regis and Soraya would be generation beta, I think. Either which way, the generation that's growing up now, they may understand the addictive nature of social media and equate it to like smoking cigarettes, and that might not be the thing, right? But what Gary Vaynerchuk was saying in some of his shorts that I was also watching was that content, then you're going to find a massive decrease in content. And what you'll find basically is more in-person events. What IShowSpeed is doing right now is, I'm sure he's getting paid very well to make FIFA appearances. So FIFA, he partnered up with FIFA. He made the song for the World Cup. He released that. He reached out to FIFA. And he got his song as like one of the national theme songs for FIFA World Cup 2026. And ever since then, he's been traveling to almost every single game, like Portugal versus Croatia, USA versus Bosnia, whatever. And I've been seeing these things. I've been just like, popping in and just checking in and just looking at what he's doing. And he'll be there for like 2 or 3 hours. And the camera is not even on the game. The camera's on him and how he's reacting to the game and him having a good time. And people are tuning in by like the hundreds of thousands to watch him watch the game. Instead of them watching the game themselves, they're watching him because they want to see what he's going to do. And so I thought to myself, after watching this stuff, I thought about IShowSpeed, what IShowSpeed is doing, what Kai Cenat is doing, the core guys, Marlon, one of the guys in the core organization. He's a founding member of the core, I think, with Lacey and Jason Lewin and that whole group that's there. I think like he moved to the United States briefly because it's considered like the entertainment capital of the world, basically, right? It's the entertainment center of the world. And from what I saw from him was that, he basically quit basketball or something like this and quit playing basketball in the United States to pursue being a streamer. And he made it, right? And along the way, though, he met Lacey. And ever since they met, he was able to, go to a whole nother level with his content, right? So he was already getting traction. And this was only in the last year and a half, right? So he was just constantly streaming on Twitch. And now he's in the position where he's at. And so as I've been studying these guys and I've been studying what they've been doing, and also Alex Hormozi too. Max is a huge fan of Alex Hormozi. Alex Hormozi, I watched one of his videos in the last month or so, and he basically said, hey, look, content is pretty much dead and there's nothing special about it, which is something I already knew already, especially as AI, like we're seeing it right now. Like there's nothing really, no secret sauce to this, right? But what he said was he's going to start live streaming. So we're going to see, I think, the rise of synthetic media. I think we're going to see a lot of fake media. We're already seeing fake media now, but it's going to go to just a whole nother level, right? We're even in the metaverse. If the whole glasses thing, I think there's going to be a group of people that are going to really embrace that. And there's going to be a group of people that really reject that. And I think that if big creators are moving to streaming, that's going to open up a whole new category of content, And like we had talked about before with community, I never really could quite understand what you were saying with community, but I think now I do. And I think that the community that we're trying to attract at this land, whatever it's called, Loveland or whatever, it is highly geared towards people that have a purpose and are probably either living their purpose or they want to learn how to live their purpose. So that's where a streamer university or a life purpose university comes into play. Now, again, the level at which I am intending to do this, right? Because I'm not just doing this as a hobby. I'm not just here showing up on a Sunday as a hobby. I'm here to build an actual business, right? A media company. That's what we talked about for years. And in order for us to do this, we would absolutely need a team, right? We would need a team of people to help us organize interviews and workshops and everything like this. And we also have to think about bringing in a much younger crowd to also do certain things as well. And what I think is going to happen, I think that content creation is going to go to a whole nother level now. And here's why. I started up a Twitch account.
Twitch.
This is Marlon. Twitch is a streaming platform. Twitch is a big streaming platform. Okay. This was last year. This was not last year. This was like last month. All right? Last month. This is Marlon. This guy is at he did an event in Sweden. Okay, he's from Sweden. He did an event, and the outcome was a whole bunch of people coming out for him. Now I want you to see this, and I want you to really try to take this in. Okay? Look at how many people are here. They had to shut down the thing. They had to stop the event because there were so many people and they weren't like being responsive or cooperative. So he had to end the event. But just really take this in. They're all there for that guy. All of these kids are there for that guy. And I want you to watch this now. Watch what happens now when he drives off. Look at the amount of engagement that's coming in from the chats. Okay, look at that. Really, really take this in right here. Really take this in. And also notice, he's got 2.4 million followers on Twitch. Look at this. Really take that in for a moment. Think about this for a second. He's got 2.4 million followers, and he's got that kind of a reaction. And so what that tells me is the following. Content is going to a completely different level. Content is going to a completely different level where I do believe that anyone that honestly wants to have an audience is going to have to live stream, because people that are like music artists and all that stuff, they only do those in-person events, right? And they have people at the concerts. But to get that kind of reaction from a live streamer, I've never seen that. And so as I've been studying these guys and I've been studying their reactions, like the crowd for IShowSpeed, he can't even fucking walk at certain events without people constantly every 5 seconds. Okay, can I get a picture? Can I get an autograph? He cannot walk around. And so what this is telling me is that there are even more people now, the younger generation, kids today growing up, they are plugged into social media. That is their life. That is what they know. They are looking to the older generation and what they're doing. I've heard this before. Many kids now growing up, their dream job is to become a YouTuber, and now it's not even become a YouTuber, it's become a streamer. So what this is telling me is that in order to successfully navigate the next 10 years and the next 20 years of content, I think for sure we can go the route of creating AI synthetic content. But if you're going to do that, you would create the AI synthetic content in like massive, like through multiple channels or whatever. And I don't think that's the direction. I think the direction after studying this and looking at this stuff is to go more live and to hold in-person events. And in order to do something like that, like Sri Pritaji and Sri Krishnaji, they could be so much bigger than what they are right now if they had a dedicated cameraman and they're doing live streams.
Oh, for their festivals like the Peace Festival.
If they had live stream, yeah, they would be doing
I can see that.
astronomical, and that's another also monetization path for them as well, where they could monetize off of memberships, just monthly memberships at $6.95 a month, and they can see behind the scenes with Sri Pritaji and Sri Krishnaji, and so
That'd be interesting.
yeah, and you can see them traveling, you can see them like everything, right? So I think for sure at this stage now, people want proof. People want proof, right? Because again, there's a lot of people that on the internet, they sell lies, right? They can sell lies, and so the advantage for us then is to produce significantly more authentic content, right? And so in order to do that though, you have to study the formats, you have to study like how to interact, right? So I think for sure, like after we get the trading stuff going and we relocate to the United States, I want to invest into a communication specialist for us, like a communication coach. And to understand how to communicate with people. I want to also then invest into a cameraman. And what I want to do in the future, I don't know how you feel about that, but if we're really going to do this, I think, I don't know, I could be completely wrong, but I think this could be the real legitimate, like how everything evolves now, is I want to invest into a cameraman. I also want to exponentially grow the channels. And again, I don't agree. Everyone has their own opinion about fame or whatever. I think that it is another tool, and you have to be very responsible to handle that responsibility, right? Some people call it fame. I call it influence, whatever. It's the same thing. But to be able to do that, if you want to really shift, how people think, you have to meet them where they are. And so I think that with streaming, that's where people are. That's where people are going, right? I don't even think that YouTube has even reached its peak yet. I just think that there's another untapped market that hasn't even been explored fully, and only a very small handful of people understand it. Like these young guys, I think they really understand that it's a media company, and that they're the new celebrities. Right? They're the new, I don't know, whoever your celebrities were when you were growing up, whoever you knew, right? They're the new that. And in order to do that successfully though, you know, it's going to require to understand how to like communicate and meet people where they are. And so I'll leave it at that. But just let that manifest and like really sit with what you're seeing right here, right? So what you're seeing, what I'm showing you, what I just showed you is that there's a new group of content creators. There's a new generation. And I think after that, there's another new generation of content creators that are coming up right now. And what they're going to be doing is they're going to be doing collaborations.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And they're going to probably be doing something like this where they're going to move into places together. But this is just entertainment, right? That's just the entertainment world. We haven't even touched the financial world. We haven't even touched the trading world. We haven't even touched the spiritual world, right? Documenting IRL spiritual events, right? Spiritual meetups, breathwork meetups, workshops, like an actual campus, right? Like, yeah, that hasn't been done yet. So there's like a whole new genre of content. And I think that we can take that genre and we can be the number one in that genre. But again, it's going to require just the resources, right? And this is something you cannot do on your own. This is something to work towards, but it cannot be done with one person, right? It's just not possible. It's just not possible. So that's where we are with this. And I'm saying this because getting back into what we're going to do today, we're going to do the shorts, right? We already said we're going to do that. We're going to work that system for now. Okay. We're going to keep working the system of doing the long forms and the shorts. Just know that the long forms on their own, they're not going to get pushed because that's what the YouTube algorithm is doing intentionally, right? We're not in that era of long form. We're in the era of more streaming, but to get discovered, you need shorts. So that's what we're going to have to work for right now. And then eventually we're going to move into, the whole content format, I'm sure, is going to change at one point as well. This will just be like a relic of where we started, just so people see how it all began. But yeah, if you're really gonna do this, we have to really study what the younger generation is doing, because from what I understand, what we're trying to do is we're trying to influence the younger generation to fulfill their purpose. And in order to do that successfully, can't focus on what generation older than us are doing, right? Even our generation, we can't even focus on what they're thinking about or what they care about, because they already have kids now. And, for them, it's probably just like, hey, let me work and let me retire, whatever. We're not for them. We're for the younger generation. So we have to figure out how they think, what their language is, and what slang term they use. And so I've been studying all this. Like, I have no idea what ratio or like peak or L's and W's are in the chat. Okay, that's pretty easy, right? Spark up the stream, like all these little terminologies, all these little, it's like a different world, right? It's like a different world. And it's the same thing like with trading, right? Like, when I went for the retracement, candle close, break, whatever. It's the same thing, just a new language for that world. And it's a lot of work to study what these guys are doing and like why you're getting reactions from them. But I think if we really do look at what they're doing, it just, for me, it makes sense. Like, that's the direction to go in. I don't know. What do you think?
I think what I saw, I think what you showed me today aligns a lot with the new earth. And I think that some of the younger generations, they already intrinsically know that. And what I am referring to is the old earth was all about hierarchy, and you have one person on top giving commands to people under them.
Yeah.
Versus the new earth, I've said this for a while, it's built and it's co-created in unified leadership, and it's being co-created in community, and it's being co-created as like one line. There is no more hierarchy. That's my point. We're not going to have hierarchies anymore, but we're going to see like hives, like beehives, where creators of the same niche come together like bees to do their thing. And it's like pieces of the puzzle. They come together, even maybe live together or be in a community because they have a shared purpose. But there is no boss. There is no, oh, you do this, you do that. That's going to be completely obsolete. And what you showed me today is these kids or these teenagers or young adults, they already do that.
Yeah. They're self governing, basically.
In a sense.
Yeah. They're they lead themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they also lead together.
Mm-hmm.
Just like you said, they started with their own channel, so they first led themselves, build something themselves, and then they came together and lead something much greater than they had before.
Yeah. Yeah. And so like
and that's also the unity in diversity, what they're doing. And you see like the potential when we get to that understanding, hey, how about we build something much greater?
Shit.
That's the unity in diversity.
Oh wow, you just
versus saying, like in the old, probably the older consciousness would look at the videos you showed me today and say, no, like I gotta compete with those people. I gotta show that I'm better.
Right.
Versus they're like, no, like let's build something greater. Let's move in together. Let's put our resources and our skills together and create something that we could never create on our own.
Yeah.
And this is the new earth where we're going.
I agree.
And that's also what many mentors that I have worked with, Jennifer included, she said the greatest blessings or the greatest codes are going to come in when we are together, a shared consciousness. And this is also what these guys are doing. And the blessings or the codes, whether it's monetary or it's an influence, it's an impact or an audience or an offer, it comes in many different ways. But it's going to be what you can be given as a shared consciousness group, like they are. They're like a shared consciousness group.
Yeah.
The blessings that you can handle are much greater because think about David Guillaume, he always speaks about you need to expand your vessel to hold more of the light. Now, if you live together or co-create together with aligned individuals, you're becoming a greater vessel. Because now it's not just me as a pillar of light, it's now you as a pillar of light. So we come together, now we have a greater capacity to hold something. And that's what I am getting after watching these guys.
Yep.
And they may put completely different words to what they're doing, but from my lens, this is what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
And what they're demonstrating.
Yeah.
And they also, in a sense, you know, they support each other, they stabilize each other. One person's strength may be another person's weakness.
Yep.
But then it immediately gets alchemized because they're together and yeah.
No, that's but that's also, if you look at us, that's the same idea.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like I'm not mega spirit. Like I don't have time to be, meditating for 8 hours a day, so I have to focus on what I'm doing. Right. And I'm more like in that I look at and study these things like this kind of lens.
It doesn't make you any less spiritual. We are all spiritual beings having our different experiences.
Yeah. I'll be right back. Hold on.
Yeah. Cause you've got a higher power. Right. And that's what the beehive, I get it. That's what the beehive was doing or is doing. cross-pollinating. You've got a higher power. And this also demonstrates one of my favorite quotes, which is surround yourself with those on the same mission as you are.
Mm-hmm.
And if you wanna go fast, go alone. If you wanna go far, go together. But it's about being aligned, it's not gonna be everyone that can co-create with you.
Yeah.
This is about an energetic, a frequency, a soul match, alignment.
Yeah. For sure.
Where imagine you have land, massive land, and your neighbors are actually your co-creators.
Mm-hmm.
And they have, also their own lives and also a shared purpose.
Yeah, that's why for the Loveland vision, when you talk about community, yeah. That's why for that Loveland vision, when you talk about the community stuff, like for a while, like I couldn't think of like, okay, what's the purpose,
Yeah, neither did I fully understand.
But now when I see these guys and what they're doing now, I think, okay, maybe that's what we're talking about here. And you said something as well with the unity and diversity. I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, if that's the case, like what kind of people would you want at Loveland, And I don't know if it's just like, I don't know, maybe people that are on the spiritual path, or I don't know. But are we also saying too, like, people that are creating content, and like what kind of content, like what kind of things, could there be a possibility of having a compound or a ranch or something like this, where there's all these people that are living at this location, this is what they do, and they already have succeeded at it, but we come together and we now take it to another level, And so again, that's the thing. In order for that to happen, we also need our own infrastructure, right? Because if we can apply our own infrastructure, and that's what we're doing anyway, right? So if we apply that over to this, I think the sky is the limit. And I also think too, like that's where you would need enough space to create like a Tyler Perry studio, Like Tyler Perry Studios is pretty big, and it's in Georgia in the United States, and it's like massive. And this is where he was shooting his movies. And so like that costs about 300 million or something like this, but the studio, but it's massive. It's massive. And you gotta go with one of those like golf carts to drive to the next place, to the next place, to the next place, to the next place, because it's just too much to walk. And yeah, like I'm when I saw the house thing and what these guys are doing, I thought, oh wow. And the thing is, like, they are in the entertainment niche and they do gaming, and then they're doing fitness stuff. Like one of the videos was like a fitness based thing. So they're not confining themselves into one box. I think it's just, they're just going in the range of, we're just content creators. We're just creating content. So, because you could also do reaction videos. You can also do challenges. You can do, all these other things. So it's not just you doing just one thing over and over and over again. And I think that's the whole point with being the personal brand, is if you're the personal brand, you are the niche. That's the whole idea. That's the whole selling point of that concept, right? And, if I think about it, like you're having a human experience, you're not just someone talking about wanting to make your ascension. You're now a mother, right? To 2 kids. Now that's a different area of your life. You're now, someone that works out. That's a different area of your life. There's all these other things. And you just got to think about, like, how do you package that, right? And so that's where also too, in terms of like hires, you need a cameraman, right? You need the equipment. You need someone that can help brainstorm that content with you, and that can actually do the research on like what's like to give you like ideas. Like we can generate ideas with ChatGPT, but to execute it, like how do you execute it? Like for iShowSpeed, for example, I'm sure he's got like an itinerary, right? He's not doing the things himself, right? He's got security with him every single stream. He's got certain guests that show up on the stream, right? So whether it's Celine, whether it's Rebecca, he's got other people that show up with him on the stream. Kai Cenat, same thing. Whether it's Ray, whether it's Tota, whether it's Rakai, Kevin Hart, Drewski, it's all the same thing. I think that it's planned, right? Even if it's streaming, I think it's still planned regardless. It's just live, and people can chime in and like feel like they're a part of the experience live, as if it's happening there, and they're just watching it, So it's very, very different. But I can imagine like, for example, having Kai Cenat's version of Streamer University, and then having a workshop on like taking someone's purpose and how do you go from the idea of the purpose to actually having it very concrete, and what's the compass, and like having all those little bits and pieces, and then having them execute all those things, right? And they're, you're taking like a certain percentage of people that meet certain criteria or certain metrics. It's not just someone that says, oh, I want to live my purpose, I want to know what my purpose is. It's someone that's already like probably taken those steps and has already a bit of that, but now they need to go to that next level, right? And I think that might be who we may want. I don't know, like
it does resonate.
Maybe, I don't know. But those are the things that I wanted to share with you, because I think that, again, as we're going to do the shorts, we're going to create the shorts right now. We're going to script it. We got to think about how do we get from here to there, if that's something that appeals, right? And like for me, when I think about that stuff, I think, well, okay, yeah, that's life purpose. We think about media empire, we think about media company. I think about that. Like, you need to be able to create a mountain of content to influence people. And from the reactions that I'm seeing from these guys that are streaming, and the people that are coming up to these events, and to, like, Kai Cenat can have 1 million subscribers or 15 million subscribers and have an event and no one still show up. That's what happened with this one YouTuber. I forget, Fusi or something like this, where he had like a music event or something like this, and he has 10 million subscribers. He had a music event. He put a lot of money into it. He didn't get the turnout that he wanted. What's the difference? You get what I'm saying? So I think we're seeing the death of long form content for sure. And like, I think we're seeing the rise of live streaming and in public events and people going outside, especially after the lockdown. And I think that if we document those live stream events and we like live stream constantly, you build up a connection with the fans or with the audience. And then you have them come out and things like this. So, and also too, at like a Loveland too, I would imagine having like, I think it would be cool to have like a little park where even like people in the public can go, or people that want to visit Loveland can go, and they're basically like hanging out in the park or something like this, you know? I don't know. Those are ideas. Or people that want to come out to events, they can pay for like tickets to the events, and that basically goes to support the creators that they're coming out to see. Now just imagine that, like you're coming out to, you as a fan of a certain content creator are coming out to see the actual creator and to hang out with the creator. That's a pretty interesting idea. Or to even go to a workshop or to go to an event or something like this. And I basically would create it in such a way that
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Just chiming in, because you said people could come and spend perhaps time with the creator or come to an event. That's also where, you know, the idea of having guest homes comes in.
Yeah.
On the land.
Right. Airbnbs and all that stuff. Yeah. And when I think about it too, like I think about, is there a possibility of doing something like let me know if you're intending to feed him again.
When he starts crying. Yeah.
Okay. Just let me know, because if you look at the monitor, you're now on camera again. Okay. So yeah, like I think about too, like a Disney. I mean, like a Six Flags, for example. It's a theme park in the United States. Well, I would love for us to go one day. It's fun to ride. I like riding roller coasters. It's fun. But there's theme parks in the United States, and they're not traveling around. People go to the theme parks.
Yeah.
You know? I'm kind of wondering if like Loveland is like that, where people come to the Loveland. We don't go to them anymore. People come to the Loveland. And
that's what I see.
Right. Like like even the guy with the sausage castle thing, right? People come to his thing, and they pay for the experience, and he gives them an immersive world, right? He gives them an immersive reality experience where it's just like that. And I'm wondering if you do, like, how do you do something like that at a Loveland? But yeah, either way, after seeing some of these younger guys, because they're in their early 20s, and they're crushing it, you know. Like Speed is only 21 or 20 or something like this. I think Marlon is about the same. Like all these guys are about the same age. They're definitely they got to be like under 25 or something. So you know, they've built these massive audiences already because they've grown up with it, and they're so accustomed to it. And me personally, I just see the trend continuing before it completely dies out, before we get to a higher state of consciousness where it just doesn't matter anymore. But I think that's the ultimate destination, where you get to a point where it's like no one's famous anymore because everyone is famous, kind of thing. And the same thing with money. Like everyone has money, so money's not even important, because, you know, AI just does a whole bunch of stuff and there's no need for any like labor. Before we get to that point though, we are at the stage where, you know, money still matters, and, you know, who has and whatever. So I think that with the audience stuff, with like, if you want to get people to be influenced to fulfill their purpose in life and get them to that state of consciousness, you want to support them, right, as much as possible. And you want to make sure that they have the support system, so they're not feeling like they're alone and they're like in the weeds or whatever. We like in my life, I could already say like I can accelerate someone massively fast because of all the mistakes that I made, right? And me doing a lot of stuff on my own. I already know, like, okay, well, you got to work on your psychology. You got to work on this. You got to work on this. All the things that I had to learn on my own, I would have a team for, like an infrastructure for, so that people can really get immersed in that world and to work on themselves, right? And it, again, is treating it like a professional, right? Anything that these guys created their own jobs, right? And they're one of them, Marlon, right? He's big on exercise. So, you know, some of the other guys, they may be sitting down and just playing video games and eating whatever junk food, but you know, that's where you come in and you influence that tribe of people to, you know, take better care of their health. Same thing like with us, you know, like you have Rick.
Yeah, or even let's assume the group of guys would come to the Life Purpose Hub and they're like, hey, we've built like so much like just imagine for a moment guys like these who have been their entire lives entertaining people, and some could say that their content is actually like not really deep or transformative or spiritual. And what if at one point, maybe later on in their lives, they're like, hey, we're actually want to transform or change the way we influence or impact people. Can you guys help me like figure out a more higher consciousness purpose? Can you help me align to that? Perhaps, you never know.
Perhaps. I mean, I certainly couldn't, but I can ideate with people, right? But that's also where we now would have to have really talented people, right? That could help them go in that direction. And I think for me, primarily what I've seen is that it really comes down to the psychology of the person, right? Like again, you know, from my background where I've come from, to be here and, you know, to be thinking the way that I think, it's, I don't know, someone could say, you know, it's different, it's not different, I don't know. But there's nothing that separates me from, you know, my relatives, you know. They could have done this too if they really wanted to. They could be somewhere else if they really wanted to. But what's the differentiating factor? The willingness to do the work, I think, and the willingness to
the personal choices.
Yeah, the personal choices, understanding, you know, like the compounding theory, compounding effect, like what happens if you eat the same foods every single day over a period of 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, your whole life, exercising your whole life. All these little things add up. They're choices that we make every single day in any moment. And these choices are what compounds into the future result that we have.
And our internal state.
And yeah, exactly, in the internal state.
Which is, I think, the greatest factor.
I think so too at this stage now. Obviously, you can't not wait to be in the best state, you know, because that could take forever.
How about at least
a coherent enough state?
A good state.
Yeah, good enough.
Like you have always said, at least be in acceptance.
Yeah, at least be in that place, right? And again, I keep thinking about the Robert Kiyosaki, the cash flow quadrant, Rich Dad Poor Dad book. He says something like that too. He said, like, you know, I wanted to teach the younger generation about financial literacy, because just because you have like all the titles and all the bullshit doesn't mean that you're rich. You could be financially struggling. And that was his poor dad. His poor dad had all the titles, all the education, all the degrees. And he could, you know, he was like a slave to his job. He had a job, he was a slave to it. Versus the rich dad who didn't have the titles or whatever. He was like one of the wealthiest, most powerful people in Hawaii. And so he said, okay, well, I want the younger generation to know how to do this. And that's where he started up in the 90s, right? And so now it's like, you know, cash flow, you know, it's like now it's more like a standard. It's like, yeah, okay, I know how to read a cash flow statement now. I know how to read an income statement, you know, statement of cash flow. I understand what my accounts receivable, my accounts payable is, et cetera, et cetera. Not a lot of people do though, you know, but that's the thing. It's more mainstream now than it was before.
That's where I had an idea to have a life purpose board game just like this one for financial literacy. But we could have a life purpose board game, how to get out of the karmic wheel and make your ascension. And basically copy that same thing for life purpose and ascension, and how you need to let go of the suffering states
Yeah.
in order to get out of the karmic wheel
Mm-hmm.
and align to your divine calling, and then basically
For sure.
you're off.
For sure.
So instead of how to get out of the rat race, how to get out of the karmic wheel, make your ascension and fulfill your dharma.
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah. And, as you were saying that, I thought about how, like, when we were both younger, we had a desire to travel. And for me, it wasn't going on for a while. Like, it wasn't happening for a while. And then one day, all of a sudden, I was just traveling all over the world with you. And we decided that that was something that we wanted to do. And I think that all these ideas, the reason why I'm saying this, because I think all these ideas that you have and what I'm saying, and maybe it's like, it's the next thing that's been like
Birthing.
right. And then the next thing you know, a few years later, it's like, oh, it all happens all at once.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised at this stage.
Yeah, I know.
We just keep showing up and keep putting in the work.
And it can take sometimes a decade, like from the time of you receiving a vision and an idea to then have it be experienced 7, 8, 9, 10 years later.
Oh, maybe even a quarter of a century,
Yeah.
Like, oddly enough, I was on YouTube again, and I saw a wrestler's name, and I saw him in search, and I found that very weird, right? Like, my eyes, like, how when you go on the YouTube app and then you're about to type in search and you have all these search things that you can search for? Okay.
Oh.
When you go into search, there's like a whole list. There's like a whole list of things that you can search for that I guess like are trending. And I happened to see this guy's name. And this guy won the world title. His name is Sami Zayn. And the announcer, Michael Cole, said something like, "Oh my God, a quarter of a century later, he wins the title." A quarter of a century later from starting his journey, he wins. That's 25 years.
Our century is 100 years.
Yeah.
A decade is 10 years.
Yeah.
Right.
A decade is 10 years. A century is 100 years. A quarter of a century. A quarter of a century. For 25 years, he started his journey. And then he was saying,
back on.
Okay. And he was saying like how, he started his journey in XYZ years. And the next thing you know, it was like, he got it. So what I'm saying, like, from the time that someone starts their journey to the time that they actually manifest it could be a while.
Yeah.
But maybe it comes. Maybe it comes if they keep working at it. And yeah, I think all the ideas that we have, when we have like the right team behind it, I think that's when you're going to see it all happen.
Yeah, and it's just glimpses about your life. It's not necessarily just for the next 5 years or 10 years. It could be glimpses for your entire life.
Yeah, exactly. But, we got to stay in the game and we got to keep showing up and all that stuff. So anyway, having said that, thanks for listening and like looking at this stuff. Hopefully that seeded some ideas or made it a little bit more clear.
Yeah.
Right. For me, it's definitely much more clear now.
And also what comes to me is that when you are a type of person that is really sincere and genuine about fulfilling your dharma and your life's work, your life purpose, it would just make sense to, how do I say this? Like our slogan on the YouTube channel, align your life to your purpose. And it would just make sense to surround yourself and perhaps live close to, in a proximity with the people who are on the same purpose boat as you are. So it's no longer about going to an office in a city. We have outgrown these timelines. But how does it really look like in the new earth and moving forward? How do we live? How do we be? How do we be in relation with one another? It's all evolving. It's all changing.
I think this is also where, the next conversation when you have with Shannon, that should be something to discuss as well. Like really getting clear on that. If that's something,
like what we spoke about today, you mean?
Yeah. And
yeah,
like,
we did speak about this. I may need to show you our actual presentation from her side and from my side, and the slides and everything. Like she created. That's also why I mentioned this. When I shared my vision for Loveland with her, I created a few simple slides, and then she was like, "Wow, I gotta prepare now my slides." Then she created her slides, and it's like she took it to a whole new level.
Good.
So like she saw a vision of it,
Yeah.
which took it to a whole new level.
Great.
Still aligned though.
Yeah. That's cool. That's cool. I would also imagine too that for the core guys, they probably have like one, maybe two cameramen, and then they oscillate between who gets the camera on them, to maybe save expenses or something like this. But even still, that's actually one of my questions too. Hold on a second, let me ask ChatGPT. Okay, we're gonna segue. Unless you have anything else you want to add about the idea, we're gonna segue into the shorts. Okay. And this is going to be pretty simple today. Like what we're going to do is we're going to have to do this in phases. Okay. We're going to have to do this in phases because when you do it in phases, it makes it much easier. And we already pretty much have the workflow. And what we're going to do in the future is obviously I'm not going to be editing this stuff much longer, right? It's not sustainable, right? We're going to need to outsource it to a team that can. So what we're going to do is we're going to script the shorts in bulk. Okay. We're going to script the shorts in bulk, and we're going to basically take, we've been researching the shorts in the last weeks, the different content creators, how they're doing things. We saw, from comedy skits to green screen, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The things that are getting millions of views, right? Those are in the entertainment niche. But let's apply some of those elements and some of those concepts to what we're doing, right? And so we already know that every piece of content has to add up to purpose, because we want to be the number one company in the world globally, right? So I'm saying we want to be the number one global company that just does one thing to the most elite level, and that is helping people with their purpose. That's it.
He just gave a fart on that.
Good. You know how Sri Pitaji and Sri Krishnaji, basically the only thing I know about them is peaceful inner state, right? And they do
And the World Center for Enlightenment.
peaceful, beautiful state. That's their main message, right? Peaceful, beautiful state. They have the enlightenment thing, the festivals, whatever. Those are all contributing to the message. The overall message for us is you have a purpose. Remember your purpose. We can help you remember your purpose and fulfill your
The
purpose.
field of remembrance.
Yeah.
To remember your purpose. If I put you on the bed, would you stay there? I love you, Saint Regis.
Okay.
Let's create a shore.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do this in stages. Okay. So today for the rest of the session, we're gonna do the shorts. Okay. And what we're gonna do is we're going to take the PDF that we saved all of the shorts to, and we're gonna just have ChatGPT generate the scripts on the shorts. Last time we pulled, or maybe 2 streams ago, we basically pulled out scripts. So let's actually do the screen share. Oh, right. Let's do the screen share here. And we got this and this. Okay. We did. Oh, right. It's in swipe. Okay. So last time what we did, right? I got it. I remember now. Last time what we did was we took the shorts and we got what the heck? Oh, okay. I think I know what I'm doing here. Right. These are all the ones. There we go. We got the transcripts. I had to manually write the transcripts, but these were the transcripts here of these videos, of these little shorts. So I basically just looked at the shorts and I got these, right? So what we're gonna do is we're going to download this as a PDF. Okay. That's all I did. Okay. We got the transcripts here now for these two videos, and now we need the other one, which is right, the content formats. Okay. And I'm gonna pull out the script for the life purpose of a shaman. Let me get all the assets together now. And we'll start here. We're gonna do 100 for now for the life purpose of a shaman, and then we're gonna do 100 for the life purpose of a healer, and we're gonna do 100 for each. Okay. So that's gonna be 1,000 shorts, 1,000 pieces of content. Okay. And the other thing too is that's just to start. Okay. So now the great thing about AI is that we can have infinite variations. We can literally have infinite variations. And all we have to do is just feed it a sample. Okay. So that's the good thing about this stuff. Having AI in this era is we can generate the samples very cleanly, actually. So from last time, let's pull it up here. From last time, we talked about content topics. We talked about, we have the long form, the life purpose of shaman, healer, mystic, light worker, spiritual, Okay. And we have a different topic, which is the signs that you are a healer, a new earth builder, a light worker, a starseed. And then we have a different one, which is why you're stuck, why healers stay broke, Your purpose isn't purpose stories. Okay. What I'm thinking is that we can target purpose stories and the life purpose of, and what's up?
No, just the ones that I resonate the most with versus some that I don't resonate with.
Which ones do you resonate the most with?
The life purpose of, then the story.
So you don't agree, you don't align with this one?
A little bit, but not too much.
Okay, if you had to choose like the top 2 or 3.
This is for long form?
This is shorts. We're only doing shorts.
Oh, this is for shorts. Okay. Well, then it changes. I think for shorts we can use all of these examples.
Okay. Remember, the life purpose of series is already the long form.
Okay.
Okay. Now we want to basically spin off that.
Yes.
Right? And that's why we said we're going to take the script of the long form for the life purpose of a shaman, healer, new earth builder, starseed, whatever. And what we're going to do is we're going to create infinite variations.
Yeah, then we can use all of that.
All right. Yeah, exactly. So we can use infinite variations, because with those infinite variations, what's going to happen is, again, getting back to trading, for every 100 pieces, for every 100 trades that I do, even if I take the same exact setup, the same exact way, same entry style, same confirmation, entry trigger, I'm not going to win everyone. Same thing here. So we can post up 100 pieces of content of the exact same thing, the life purpose of a shaman, and say it 100 different ways. And I guarantee that not every one of them is going to take off the same way. So we need to think about that, right? And we need to also have enough variation so that way each piece of content is distinctly different from one another, so it doesn't get flagged as spam, and it still ties into the overall brand theme, right? The overall brand theme is the life purpose. Like, what's your life purpose? What's your purpose in life? So we're going to have to do a lot of different variations. And what we're going to do is for each video, for each long form video, we may even create 1,000 shorts per long form video, right? But all of them are going to link back to the main video to increase watch time. Okay, because we talked about this, we've gone through this already. The idea is that because YouTube is a business, it's a valuation of $500 billion. That means that it has a responsibility to keep that engine going, right? It has a team of people and, whatever. So they are going to only favor people that are on the platforms, that are using the platforms, that are using the tools, that are using every different content piece possible. And they're only going to be favoring people that keep people on the platform, right? And we already had talked about this. Okay, well, we're not an employee of YouTube. We are our own business. They are our client, right? It's a mindset shift. We're not content creators. We are business owners and investors, because what we're doing is we're building up the business to then eventually sell it in the future at a premium, okay? And the psychology or the mentality behind this is our client has a problem. They have so much content, people that can upload their content to the platform, that not a lot of people want to watch, and then they swipe off. And if they swipe off, that means that they lose money because they need to keep the ads going, right? That's how they make money, with ad revenue and other services. So we need to make sure that we have creative content, engaging content that people want to watch, that people want to consume. The fastest consumable pieces of content right now just happens to be shorts. Shorts are discovery. Long form is for like if they want to go deeper into a topic. And live stream is community. So that's where you actually build real fans, right? That's where you build real fans and people really get to know the real you because it's live. That's the whole premise or the whole idea. So that's what we need to do. So we need to take these content topics, and just as a rough idea, we need to basically create 100 different scripts, right? Purpose stories, like I like that one a lot. The monk who, and we could do many, many green. Literally, if we only did one and it was only this probably would be a good one right here. Because we can do the green screen. We can get costumes from Sellpy for cheap, and we can get like, put on the hat or something. I don't know. And then you've got different content variations. Okay. Secondary formats. Well, that's later on when you have like clients and things like this and the business is going. Content pyramid. Okay. Yeah, too, even if you make these little shorts, you can make them in such a way that it's like interesting, green screen. We got skits.
Five minutes break.
Yeah. Mm. Okay, so now that we've done that, we have this content formats. Right, let's take these two, unzip. There's a shaman. Right? That's one. And the life purpose of a healer. Okay. Now let's go into here. And let's put up this content assistant. Okay. Let me know if you agree with this, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're going to play it. Just let me know if you agree.
Yes, I understand exactly what you're building now, and I think the objective is much bigger than simply repurposing long. Yes, I understand exactly what you're building now, and I think the objective is much bigger than simply repurposing long form into shorts. You're building a purpose media company, not a YouTube channel. Every short has one job: strengthen the association that lifepurpose.com equals the authority on discovering and fulfilling your life purpose. Someone should be able to watch 500 of your shorts over 2 years and have everyone reinforce the same core belief. If I want to understand why I'm here, this is where I go. After reading your framework, I think you've already solved the highest level strategy. The PDF is essentially describing a content operating system, not just content ideas. It separates topics from formats, which is exactly the right way to scale. The same idea, the life purpose of a shaman, can become talking heads, green screens, POVs, inner dialogue skits, stories, and eventually workshop clips. That's what makes 100 to 250 genuinely different shorts possible instead of 100 paraphrase H the skit examples. They aren't funny because of complicated writing. They're funny because of escalation. One character says almost nothing, while another keeps escalating until the situation becomes absurd. The tension increases every few seconds. That pacing is something we can absolutely borrow without borrowing the actual jokes. Instead of dry chicken, we can create escalating conversations between purpose, fear, the ego, your soul, comfort, God, the calling, the future you, your job, etc. The production style translates surprisingly well to spiritual content, where I think we see Edie. Many of those titles are excellent, but they lean heavily toward educational talking head content.
Let me get him here.
If we're trying to produce job, etc. The production style translates surprisingly well to spiritual content, where I think we see Edie. Many of those titles are excellent, but they lean heavily toward educational talking head content. If we're trying to produce 500 plus shorts from one long form, we need much more diversity in psychological trigger, emotion, production style, and audience intent. For example, instead of only the life purpose of, signs your, why you're stuck. We should also pull micro content from the script, such as misconceptions, one-liners, uncomfortable truths, internal dialogues, reactions, modern scenarios, workplace scenarios, relationship scenarios, memes, skits, POV, nobody talks about. Imagine if, the moment, questions that reveal, things shamans never say, things fake shamans always say. If a shaman worked at Starbucks, the conversation between fear and purpose, when your soul finally gets your attention, those all reinforce the same long form but feel like completely different content. Here's the content factory I think we should build. Instead of producing 100 shorts, we build 100 different entry points into the same long form. Every short should fall into one of these psychological buckets: identity, curiosity, myth busting, entertainment, emotional, story, skit, green screen, POV.
Hold on. Okay.
Internal dialogue, question, self-diagnosis, relatable situation, pain, hope, transformation, purpose framework, spiritual psychology, modern life, call to action. That gives enormous variety while always pointing back to the same core video. I would actually change today's deliverables slightly. Instead of generating 100 random titles, I'd create what becomes your short extraction framework for every future episode. For every long form, we systematically extract 15 identity shorts, 15 sign shorts, 15 problem shorts, 10 myths, 10 questions, 10 stories, 10 skits, 10 green screens, 5 POV inner dialogues. That's 100 pieces. Then every future archetype, healer, mystic, light worker, priestess, builder, etc., follows the exact same system. At that point, you've built a repeatable content engine rather than brainstorming from scratch every time. I think that's the scalable version of lifepurpose.com. One thing I do need before writing the 100 titles is the actual long-form script for the life purpose of a shaman. The content formats PDF gives us the extraction framework and even example titles. But to create the strongest 100 titles, we need to extract the specific ideas, metaphors, stories, phrases, myths, and emotional moments unique to your shaman episode. Those unique moments are what will make the shorts feel fresh instead of generic spirituality. Once I have that script, I'll generate 100 titles with an attached content topic, production format, talking head, skit, green screen, POV, etc., and the exact micro theme each short covers so your team can immediately move into scripting.
Can you understand that?
Yeah.
All right. So remember, we're never going to be those people that are going to be thinking of, oh, what should I say today? What should I talk about on camera? No, we don't ever do that. Okay. We think in terms of law of large numbers and expectancy. We think in terms of statistics, because when we think in that way, what we're doing is we're already setting up the expectation that, hey, out of 1,000 pieces of content, maybe 100 are do very, very well. That's fine. But what we can also do too is we can then recycle in the future. We can make spin-offs in the future. We can create any infinite amount of content. Okay. And it really just comes down to the script. And, the quality doesn't have to be the greatest, right? What we can do to make it more meaningful is we get costumes, outfits, whatever, and then we put it on, and then we do that work. So for right now, that's what we're looking at. Okay. And so we have this content framework, and basically it's just knowing, like, even still, these little numbers right here, 15 identity shorts, 15 science shorts, problem shorts, 10 myths, 10 stories, whatever. Those numbers can change to like 25, 35, 45. It doesn't matter. And AI will do that for us in seconds. Okay. The main thing is to understand the framework, have the framework, and use that framework together. Now, the next thing what we're going to do here is we're going to make sure all the scripts are done today. Okay. But ChatGPT said something that I probably didn't think about, and that is an extraction framework for every episode. So for every long form episode, we want to extract as much value out of it as possible. Okay. There's only so many things that you can say, but the idea is that you have to keep on reinventing yourself and reinventing how you say it and the way you say it. So basically, we're just going to be looking to drive that idea many, 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 many times over the lifespan of lifepurpose.com. And what I think we're also going to do too is we're going to randomize how we upload. So instead of, let's say, just completely 100 all life purpose of a shaman, we may do the life purpose of a mystic, the life purpose of a new earth builder, and then oscillate between those. So we literally have an infinite amount of content pieces that we can produce. Okay. I'm gonna be right back. I'll use the toilet. I'll be right back, and then we move on from there. We're almost there. Man, I'm tired and hungry.
Me too.
Yeah. I'm going to try to finish this up in the next 30 minutes so that way, we can end it early today cuz I'm definitely feeling like I just want to eat and sleep right now. All right, and all we got to do is just finish this thing. Okay? Okay, fantastic. Now, what I need for Dude.
should I put something in the oven for you?
Yeah. Chicken and green peas. What I want you to do after I'm done here is just look over some of the scripts and like tell me what you think about it. If that, like, try to act it out in your head and like, tell me what you think. Yeah, I'll let you know when I'm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm. Oh, okay. Yeah, let me just put it underneath. Right, right, right. Mm. Okay, now you can come over here. Okay, so to understand this, just to reiterate this one more time is a couple weeks ago I showed you how easy it was to create a series of shorts, right? And we literally within seconds we produced over 180. That's not the problem. Okay? The problem is just making sure, or the thing that we need to make sure that we do correctly is that we have every piece of content re-emphasize the overarching brand idea, which is helping people with their purpose, right? So every single piece of content has to align to that specifically. And that's the way that I see this going. So what we're doing here is we're recreating the titles, and we're doing the production format to be just basically all green screen for right now, because that's just the fastest thing to produce. Okay, it's just the fastest thing. So whether it's you looking at the monitor and you're just speaking your lines or acting it out, or you're looking at the camera acting it, that's going to be the faster thing than to like be outside and like, oh, what do I say? What are my lines? So we want to make sure we just do this very fast, because what we're going to do is we're going to generate all the titles at once. We're going to follow the same process like we did with the long forms, script all the titles, generate the scripts, and then next time we're going to record 100 in bulk, and then after that we're gonna do editing. Okay, all right. And that's the good thing is like we can literally just like schedule them out like every 2 days or whatever, and we have like endless content. We have endless content, honestly, because it's gonna take you about 60 seconds to record a short. You do that for 100, that's about an hour or so. And maybe in like 2 hours, you'll be done with 100 pieces of content. and then that's it. So next week is when I'm gonna take Regis. We're gonna really have to work out a procedure so you understand what to do. I may need to leave the room, go for a walk with Regis, so you have to now start to learn how to use the equipment now. So that way it's not distracting you, because we don't want to hear crying in the background, and then we're gonna also use the microphone. So these are the things that we have to now get ready for. But anyway, this is the idea. All right. So tell me what you think about this. Okay. So these are all shorts, and they're all spin-offs off of The Life Purpose of a Shaman long form. Okay. This is the title. The Life Purpose of a Shaman isn't what most people think. Curiosity. It's in the green screen format. The concept angle is explain that a shaman's purpose isn't magic. It's about restoring balance, whatever. The reason why I'm doing it like this is because we're going to just keep hammering the same idea, like this template for every single video, every single long form video. Okay. What a shaman actually does, break down the role. Most people think, contrast Hollywood's version, the real life purpose of a shaman. So these are some of the titles. Let me know what you think of the titles.
Sounds okay.
Sounds all right?
Yeah. What do you think?
I think it's good enough.
Yeah.
I think it's good enough. And the thing is, when we have the green screen, we're going to, figure out how we want to do that, right?
Mhm.
Oh, whatever.
I kiss him and he poops. That's how he works. Now he smiles. That's the secret sauce for good digestion. He loves to get kissed. Then he smiles.
Even the what, baby?
I said everyone understands the love language, even the youngest baby.
Mm.
He has the biggest smile ever.
Okay, so now we've got the 100 pieces more clearly defined here, okay? And what we're going to do now is we're going to take this, copy this, let me see, how am I going to do this here? Mm. I'm generating the scripts now. Okay, so what we're doing is we're generating the scripts. Okay, that's cool. Hey, come over here. Okay, now I need you to help me shape the script. Okay, so obviously we can get whatever script style we want, we can get whatever title we want, whatever. Now we just have to shape it, okay? And we just did the first 20. And so I needed you to look it over and tell me, like, read it over first and then tell me what direction you want to go in, right? So read it as if you're reading it out loud, okay? So this is the This is the script to one short. Okay. The life purpose of a shaman isn't what most people think. And then this would be your script. So this would be basically you talking head, looking at the camera, and you would be like with your microphone, right? So you would be like, most people think a shaman's purpose is to perform rituals or mystical ceremonies, but that's only the surface. And what we would do is we would have like the service that we use to generate those images, right? We'd basically use that, but in a 9x16. Okay. And we can do that. And that's very, very simple to do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we can do that for this style. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So read this over and tell me what you think about this.
Most people think a shaman's purpose is to perform rituals or mystical ceremonies. Oh, is this already a cutout from the actual long form?
Mm-hmm.
Because that sounds familiar to me.
Yeah, maybe.
The only thing I don't like is the last sentence.
Okay, you can also just change that last part as well. You know?
Yeah.
Okay, next one. But overall.
Yeah, it's okay. What do you think?
Okay, do me a favor. I want you to read it out loud for me.
Okay.
And I'm gonna set a timer or a stopwatch. Start stopwatch. Okay. I want you to read it out for me out loud, okay? Don't read the title or the script, just read the actual lines. Okay? Start.
You said don't read the title.
Just read that as if you're reading it on a camera.
Okay.
Go.
Most people think a shaman's purpose is to perform rituals or mystical ceremonies, but that's only the surface.
Stop. Hold on. Read it as if you're actually reading it like you're actually talking on a video recording.
Yeah, which I do.
Okay.
Most people think a shaman's purpose is to perform rituals or mystical ceremonies, but that's only the surface. The deeper purpose of a shaman is to help someone return to balance. Balance between body, mind, and spirit, between the person and nature, between a bridge of suffering into healing. The rituals may look different from culture to culture, but the mission is remarkably similar. It's about helping someone remember their wholeness that never needed fixing in the first place.
Okay. That's about good. It's 37 seconds.
Okay.
All right. Next one.
If someone asked you what a shaman does, what would you say? Magic, plant medicine, healing? Those can all be a part of the role. But at its core, a shaman helps people navigate deep emotional, spiritual, and sometimes physical imbalances. Think of them less as someone who gives answers and more as someone who helps people reconnect with themselves, their wholeness, and their truth. That's a very different role than most people imagine.
That's actually, what do you think?
I mean, for shorts, for 30 seconds, I think this is fine.
This is perfect, right?
Yeah.
One more time.
It's like a teaser, and for a teaser, that's good. Good enough. Hollywood made the word shaman sound mysterious. Reality is usually much quieter. Across many traditions, a shaman was not famous. They were not trying to build an audience. They served their community. They spent years learning, observing nature, and carrying responsibility. The role was never about looking spiritual. It was about serving people when they needed it the most.
Okay. What do you think?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, cool. Now, let's go to this next batch. Okay, now this is more of a script style, Gen Z style. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so now imagine you're two characters. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
now imagine like how I showed you last week. You're looking at the monitor, you're reading the lines, etc., etc. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
go for it.
Yeah, I've been a shaman for like 3 weeks. 3 weeks? Yeah. Who trained you? TikTok. I bought a crystal yesterday. Basically the same thing. I don't really get it.
Yeah, I don't get that, but
Ah.
okay, fine. Real shamanic traditions often require years of training.
Okay, yeah, I get I cannot get it.
Okay, so that's the text on screen.
But this is gonna require acting
yes, yeah,
to convey the message.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, if a shaman worked at Starbucks,
If a shaman worked this out, can I get an iced latte, please? Absolutely. Hands over water. Excuse me, this is not iced latte. Neither was your sleep schedule. What? You don't need caffeine, dear one. You need balance. Oh, I actually like that one.
fair enough. Okay, next one.
Your soul finally gets service. Hello? I've been trying to reach you. Sorry, no signal. You had signal for 7 hours on Instagram. Interesting. Sometimes the loudest distractions hide the quietest calling. Oh, this is good.
You understand it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't you?
No.
No.
But if you understand it, then
It's like the soul is calling the person, hey. The person totally ignores it. The soul is saying, you had 7 hours signal on Instagram, but you're not listening to me.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Okay, I got it. I got you.
I'm very grateful for that message. I always wanted to create something like that for people.
Okay. Do you think that... Okay, try this one.
Google versus a shaman. Google says I have 43 different problems. Shaman, how do you feel? Google didn't ask me that. Shaman, exactly. Oh, okay, yeah, Google versus a shaman, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what do you think about that?
I think it's good because, I mean, the deeper message behind that is don't go to Google, go to a shaman.
Right. And remember that when you're reading this...
Because Google is very superficial.
Yeah, and when you're reading this, remember, you're not going to read person. Google says I have...
Yeah, no.
Right? You're going to be the person. You're going to say, Google says I have 43 different problems. How do you feel?
Google didn't ask me
Google
that.
didn't ask me that. Exactly.
Or instead of saying exactly, you can also say, interesting.
Whatever. Right? Whatever, right? Next one. This is gonna be the text on screen, okay? Every community naturally looks for someone, right?
Who is doing the presentation today? Who's keeping the group together today? Why does this always happen to me?
That has nothing to do with shaman. And it went off beat, right? It went off topic, right? So
are they all off now?
Yeah.
The Soul's customer support call. Let me read over that.
Yeah.
Hi, I'd like to report a problem. What's wrong? My human keeps ignoring me. Have you tried dreams? Yes. Gut feelings? Yes. Random fascination with shamans? Working on it.
What do you think?
It's okay.
You see, and that's the thing. Some of them are going to be better.
Yeah.
Some of them are not going to be so good.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was 20. What I'm going to suggest is we stop here. And what we do is next week, we start the recording. Okay? Because when we start the recording, we're going to upload this batch, see what works in the market, and then go heavy on that, basically, on what the outlier is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And so we'll just go off of these 20 just as like a little idea. Okay.
These were 20.
Yeah, these
okay.
were 20, and we can put this out throughout the week, right? So it'll basically just be like we're just going to create 1 week for right now instead of creating a full 100.
Okay.
And then when we have a better idea of what script worked better, what piece of content over indexed better, then we're gonna go heavier on that style. So for example, if let's say we're, the format 9:16 aspect ratio for mobile, and we go and we do the talking head version, which was the first batch that you read, which is just like you saying random little things. We'll test that version. And then we'll test out the other version where it's you looking off camera, but you're doing the skits. So you're playing 2 characters and someone gets to look in as if they're watching something happening.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So we'll test out those 2 different versions, because one is more like someone talking head. And then another one is someone can watch you as if they're watching 2 people have a conversation. So it's like a little bit differently in the framing,
Yeah.
but however that works, we
Oh,
then switch.
I'm also getting the idea right now that I can give ChatGPT a prompt or a direction on which direction to go with the shorts.
Yes.
For example, I can say, generate me 20 or 100 short scripts based on this theme.
Yes.
This is just what came to me.
1,000,000%. Again, we can go in any direction. That's the thing. We can go in any direction.
Oh, and I'm also getting now that this could also possibly work. Remember, I had these inspirations for the life purpose of, and I did the voice recordings on how that should go. For example, the life purpose of the New Earth star seeds. There was an entire vision that came in. I can try giving that to ChatGPT
Yes.
to create 100 shorts of that.
Yes, that's 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. So you see,
Okay.
so even the little micro ideas that you had, literally you can just have spin-offs and different variations of that.
Yeah, and
Okay.
it's probably much smarter to put them into the shorts versus the long form.
Probably because,
So it works out.
yeah, so if let's say for the long form, you're trying to have a really distilled message that's like on beat and it makes logical sense and it flows, with the shorts, you can just like vary it up however you
Yeah.
want to, right? And it's all going to lead back to watching that long form piece of content anyway.
Which is better anyway, because the shorts get more attention than the long forms. So I may as well put it in the shorts versus in the long form.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you look at the stats, the long form that we released last week had 12 views. 12.
Yeah, and I think 3 of them are mine.
Yeah. So
And 4 of them are yours.
I didn't know. I didn't watch, or at least I don't think I'd watched. But you see, that's the thing. Versus a short, you get 800, 900 views in the first hour or so, like in the first 24 hours.
Yeah.
That's the idea. That's why I'm saying we don't want to use our time with the long form. It's not the place anymore. And eventually, I'm very, very certain shorts would not be the thing anymore as well. So we have probably like a little finite window to use that in our advantage for massive discovery. And I would imagine that like as more people come on,
Or ego versus higher self. I want to do that.
yeah, we can do that as well.
Create a whole bunch of shorts with ego. But no, it does tie into purpose.
Yeah.
Please go ahead.
But eventually what you're going to see probably as more people come into content creation, it may be that it gets even more saturated. So discovery, your abilities to get discovered is probably even less. Like if you look at Instagram, right? Look at Instagram. For the same short that we posted on the YouTube, it's not getting anywhere near as much reach on Instagram. Okay. And then that's the same thing with like a TikTok. It has different levels of engagement. It gets different reach. And it's always going to a core audience. So it's going to a target sample audience to test to see if it's worth actually unlocking more audience reach. So we have to understand that. And we have to understand that we're just playing with averages at this point. The more people that I also do think that saying that subscribers don't matter, views do, is also another lie too.
It depends on your intentions for actually putting yourself out there.
Well, the thing is, from what I see, is regardless if, like for IShowSpeed, right? He's constantly saying like and sub. Mr. Beast is constantly saying like and sub. Kai Cenat is saying subscribe to my channel. If you look at their banners, that's what they're basically, why are they doing that? You know, like really think about that for a second. Why are they doing that? Because it's probably still relevant. It's probably still a relevant metric. And so whoever is saying, you know, subscribers don't matter, subscriber count doesn't matter, views do, is I don't agree.
Well, we all have our unique experience, I guess.
I don't know.
Like, I know people who have replaced their entire income with like 100 subscribers.
Yeah, sure.
So it depends on your intention,
Sure.
I guess,
And there are people
and
that
your perception.
there's that one content creator that from a few years ago, remember, where he had like 100 and something thousand and he didn't even monetize it.
Exactly.
So it's like, what the fuck is the point? You
And
know?
that's what Jennifer also said. She said she knows people who have millions of followers. They're not monetizing anything. So you cannot like generalize.
But I'm also certain too that if you really wanted to monetize, you could, right? You can monetize off of AdSense. You could monetize off of memberships.
Yeah.
So it's probably that there is an intention behind not monetizing.
Yeah, like the person we know.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So if they're just doing it to build trust right now, well then that's part of it, right? So that's an investment idea. But at some point, yeah, I would imagine that if you had like 10 million YouTube subscribers, you're going to be monetizing that somehow, you know? And I think that's also too why some of these younger creators that I'm seeing, they're more entertainment based because they're just saying, hey, subscribe. Because off the back end of that, I think it's more like if you watch them, they make money on ads. And they're already going to try to get volume anyway on the ads. And on top of that as well, they probably got merch. Like, right, IShowSpeed, he does merch. So his merch makes money.
What's merch?
Merchandise is like apparel.
Oh, merchandise.
Merchandise, right? So he does merch. So he's got his own merch line. And then he's also got his memberships as well, where someone can join and subscribe to his private membership for private content. So he's got all that, right? So you could do something like that too. And that's exactly what I'm saying too. Like if we do a whole bunch of shorts, like, I mean, a lot of shorts, you'd be surprised at how fast you can grow with a lot of shorts in a small period of time.
I was briefly looking at some of the shorts on YouTube and they have millions upon millions of views. And I'm like, wow, that was such an ordinary piece of short.
Yeah.
That was such a random short.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. So the opportunity is there for us now. And I think we just have to, what I really do think is going to come down to, it's going to be the green screen skit thing. It's going to be the 2-person point of view and we just apply it to life purpose. And we just do that over and over and over and over and over again. But we're going to see. So we're going to schedule, next week, we're going to come in, we're going to record because now we have the idea. I don't know if you want to, well, that's the thing too. We're also low on cash now. But I don't know if you see anything on Sellpy or anything like this where you want to buy as like costume stuff, right? That would be your homework.
I would have to get clear on what kind of costumes I want to get.
Right. So what I would do is I would look at the long form video titles, right? So we got the life purpose of a shaman, etc. Maybe ask ChatGPT, hey, like what are little items, like little tiny items that I can get? Or even still too, you don't even need to do that. Just literally go to Sellpy. Go to Sellpy, just look at the costume section and just think about like a pair of glasses. You're already a different character.
I think I'm better off starting with the tools that we already have because we have the crystals, we have the shaman things like the feathers, we have a sage stick. We can use that.
Right, exactly. So use that and use that to your advantage, right? And just think a little bit more creatively, right? Maybe there is a shaman hat. You have a straw hat.
Yeah.
right? So you can use that to be the shaman, and then you have yourself as the regular character. You've got the robe here. You got that. We can get scarf. We can get. You know what I'm saying?
I can use your poncho.
Yeah, exactly. You can use the poncho thing. So anything that you can wear on camera,
Yeah.
that already is going to create you being a different character. So when you take it off, you're one character. When you put it on, you're a different character.
That's fun.
Okay. So just literally just think like that. Because like I showed you with the content creator Gabriel Sade or something like this, he started out. Look, check this out.
Oh, this guy.
Mm-hmm. But look how he started out. Okay. Just look at this very carefully.
How? Mom, my head hurts. Can I not go to school? Mom? Hello? Am I hearing things? It's probably just my hair. Mom, I'm not feeling well. Can I not go to school? Are you dying? No, you're not. So you're going to school. And you're not gonna dirty my precious little floor with your vomiting. What? She literally likes the floor more than she likes me. Mom! My precious little star baby unicorn, are you sick? I'm gonna call school. Tell them you're not going to school for the rest of the year. I'm gonna also make you some soup and some cake. Just rest up, baby. Okay.
Okay, so he basically
Let's
just
get
used a
it,
freaking
boys.
towel on his head.
Exactly.
Mom.
Exactly. Exactly.
And he used a vomit bag.
Exactly. So
Well,
you,
we have that at home.
so you see how you can do that
Yeah.
very, very easily. Now with the green screen, it's just literally applying different backgrounds and everything like this. So it gives it even more of a little bit of a differentiator. Okay. And of course, if you see this join here thing, this is what I'm talking about too. At €299 a month to €899 a month, this guy at 1 million subscribers, if you have a 0.5 to 1% conversion, this guy is already making, some money off of YouTube, just off of doing shorts. And that's all he does. He doesn't do videos like that. The last time he produced a video was a year ago.
Is there any exclusive offer with the membership? Or it's just to support his channel?
No. There's like behind the scenes stuff, right? So you get like badges, you get priority reply to comments, member shout outs, early access to new videos. And then you've got the teachers pack. And then this is another profile thing. This is another thing, right? And this is the same thing with, again, iShowSpeed, right? So he's also got his own thing too. Let me show you. So then this is why he's constantly saying also like and sub to my channel. Why? Because he's got this. He's got the supporter speed, and then he's got the tier. Okay? Extra behind the scenes content and videos monthly. Early access to merch, members only live streams. So he's live streaming for members only. So that's another thing too. And like I said, with his merch, he's got Speed Store. So the Speed Store is his merch line. And if we look, per item goes about $45, $75, $25. And you will see on his streams, some people do come in with these items. And he'll automatically stop to take a picture with you and do like an autograph thing if you have his merch. So again, this is where, we have that advantage to think about this stuff where, even if we did entertainment, you can still monetize it. Even if you did, the accountability stuff, you can still monetize it. Okay. So don't think that you're like defined into, just because you're doing shorts and you're being comical or whatever, that you're being taken as a joke. No, you're not. I think that's the worst idea. Cause this guy is doing he's done all kinds of content and he's generating significant cash all the time. all the time. Same thing with this guy over here too. Like if this was his video, right? If he only did this.
Gabriel, you're still
Mom's in the morning.
Oh,
sleeping?
God.
Come on, wake up!
I can relate to
Hello,
that.
Mom. Yes. How's everything? How's the home country? Is everything alright? Oh, yeah, okay. You want to talk to Gabriel? Yeah, of course, he's awake. Gabriel, wake up! Yeah.
Okay, that was a short, and that did what, 20 something thousand views? 35,000 views in 2023, right? So let's say he had $2.99 a month.
He's got a lot about his mom.
Mm-hmm. And he's got how many subscribers here? He's got 1.46.
Gabriel
So,
said he tissue.
1,400,000 times, let's say 0.5 people, right? 0.5%. I'm sorry, 0.5 people. Nope, that's half, Gabriel. Come on. 146. 5%. 73,000 actually did do that, right? Let's say it's 0.5%. And they did 2.9. He's making about 218K
A month.
a month off of that lowest tier. You get what I'm saying? So just really think about that. And, you know, again, this is where he went from doing this kind of style to then eventually
I want
doing
to see that one we've got.
that stuck out to you, right?
Four. Okay, let me just check.
What? I don't get it. Never mind.
Okay, so he says this always happens in math tests, right? Where it's like you're saying what's in your heart, whatever, and then you're asking a math, like, how would you think about it from a mathematician? And then God.
4.
Instead of just using your calculator.
4.
I guess.
4. Okay, let me just check.
Okay. And like over here, for example, let's see, here's some other popular ones. All the popular
Let's
ones.
wrap up then, okay?
Yeah. All the popular ones are green screen. But just notice how he even still to this day uses the towel.
I know.
He's got, and you said also the other thing too, you can use your robe.
He reminds me to you when you had the wig on.
Mm-hmm. Right. Maybe we can get the wig again, right? So go to Selfie, get the wig. You can
I
go,
think wigs are good if we can get a whole bunch of different wigs.
yeah, wigs could be really good. And we can go to
Blonde hair, red hair.
everything, right? So we can do all that stuff, right? And just notice how for a while he was just doing these. And then he went to the green screen. And then that's when it really started to take off. Okay? So again, this is where I'm coming from, is what I'm thinking. And, you know, towel makes you a different person. And we could just keep doing this over and over and over again. All right?
Can you go back one last time and filter his video to the most popular ones, the most popular shorts? I want to see his most popular shorts, if that's possible. With the mom again, interesting. 50 million views shopping. Oh, I've seen this one. Student exposes teacher. I've seen that one too. Oh, I think you already showed them.
Yeah, we did. We did that when we did that day where we were looking at all the shorts.
Yeah, okay.
Right, and then we also got the other guy too, where we've got what's his name? Oh, dang it! Oh, Jaden Williams. There we go. We did this guy here, right? And so he also does these.
And then he said, "You've been served." No.
See?
Oh my god, that looks so wild.
look at how he does this. It's green screen. Okay, he's got the wig. He's got the clothes.
That is good. That is good. I'm not happy anymore. Shoot, who ordered the tax? That would be me.
Here you are, sir. Your itemized Schedule A deductions, state and federal liability breakdown,
Okay.
corresponding W-2 statements, declaration of your capital gains,
Okay.
ready for your final review and signature.
Fantastic. And where's the record of my estimated quarterly tax
You'll
payments?
find that on page 4, sir, right next to the adjusted gross income summary.
Right. And then he said, "You've been served." No.
Okay, there's that one, and let's try this.
Hey, bro, watch this. And then he said, "You've been served." No. And then he said, "You've been served." No. And then he said, "You've been served." No.
Oh boy. Hold on a
Hey,
second.
bro, watch this.
Okay. What is this? What is this? It's a video game?
Look, just watch.
Is this like an old video?
Just watch the screen.
I'm watching. I couldn't have been more scared. Seriously. Kudos to you, man. Wow. You got me good. You got me good. Did you see that? That was real. And was that on YouTube? Like you weren't playing it. You weren't playing it. I didn't think so. I didn't think so. Hey, I'm gonna get you back though. I don't know
Oh
how.
my
I don't know how,
God.
but I'm gonna get you
Okay,
back.
that-
all right?
that was good.
You are too good, man. Crazy.
Hey, bro, watch this.
Well, if he's like, just watch.
What is this? What is this? It's a video game?
Look, just watch.
Is this like an old video?
Just watch the screen.
I'm watching.
He didn't expect that.
Okay, so we'll wrap up. We'll wrap up there, but yeah, so he does this as well. But look, he's also got this.
I want to see the one with Netflix when you spell a movie that they don't. Okay, but then we really.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
really
yeah.
wrap
But
up.
look, but that's the point though. But think about this.
I don't want to get sucked into this too much.
Think about this. He's got €4.99 a month for a membership. He's only got one tier.
Yeah, you can already have your own comedy show there.
Yeah, exactly. This one?
Yeah.
R-E-V. Oh, The Revenant? Oh, yes, actually. We don't got that.
What?
We don't got that. I don't know why you thought we did.
You literally just told me you had.
No, I told you how to spell it.
What is happening?
You want 1917?
No, I want The Revenant. I would have searched for 1917 if I wanted to watch that.
I'm not liking this attitude.
Well, I'm not liking the selection. How about Project
Hail Mary.
Yes.
We don't got it.
Are you serious? I mean, even your inflection made it sound like you had
I
it.
wish we did. Those tramps down the street at Prime got it.
Interstellar?
Yes, we have Spaceman with Adam Sandler.
That's not even what I asked.
It's the next best thing.
I don't think anyone's ever said that ever.
Search by directors.
Christopher Nolan.
Come on, man.
What?
Do someone less underground.
Underground? It's Christopher Nolan. What am I supposed to say? Borat?
We actually do have Borat.
R-E...
Okay, so basically the parody of this is they give you a search on Netflix that has nothing to do with the title. And then you're looking for like the Reverend, and then they don't have it.
Okay.
And then you're looking for Christopher Nolan, and then they don't have that. And then they're saying basically like have someone that's basically like less known. Basically, that's the joke behind it.
Okay.
But as you can see, 3.32 million subscribers, and you're doing 2.4 million views a short, and you have subscribers. You know that's gonna convert into him making money to do this stuff full time. And if you look once again, he's not necessarily doing a whole bunch of content like that, you know? It's every couple of days, and he's probably also taking these long forms and converting them into shorts, and that's his strategy, right? He's also got a channel where he does live streams. He's got another channel here, I think. Yeah, he's got another one, Jaden Williams Live or something like this. Okay. And then this is it. So he's got this one, and then he's also got the other one. And then he does the live streams on these. And this one has 1.2 million subscribers. And he's showing him doing these live streams.
She'll shoot it.
I don't know how he does it. Oh, that's probably pre-recorded or something. But
Luckily, I remembered a gas station a few to the side for now.
we're gonna create a better.
That's cool.
Okay.
All right, that's it.
See, it's a little
Good
dark.
stuff.
Yes.
All right, cool.
Thank you.
Any questions?
No, so next week we're gonna start recording, right?